Hello, YouTubers. Well, as always, we got another project. This is a Frigidaire gallery. Got to have a cool name, you know. Anyway, this is a Frigidaire. This is not a stackable. It's a one-piece washer-dryer combo. I won't even begin to tell you how I got it down here. But anyway, got this deal for $300. And guy said, hey, it works good. You know, I just don't need it. And it's got this dent over on the side, another dent on the other side. So anyway, this is $1,100 arrangement, brand new. So, you know, I took him at his word. He seemed like a nice guy and everything. And it does work. Everything works, but I found a problem. When you put it on warm or hot for your water, it puts out so much water pressure that it runs all over the floor at the back. And, you know, that's what everybody wants, is a washing machine that's 220 and running water out the back of it. Okay, down here, not a big deal. As you can see, it's all concrete. Water runs around, goes into the sump pit over there. Not a major issue here, but still, don't like the idea of water coming out of a 220 appliance, okay? So, I get to looking, and what I find is, let's see if I can get some light on the subject here. What I find is, if she'll focus for me. Come on, baby. Yeah, we'll just leave that light off. Anyway, that ugly looking plastic thing back there it kind of looks like the nozzle on a vacuum cleaner. That's where your water comes out. Now, it's supposed to come out and just cascade down. But for some reason, I'm getting water shooting back up over here, way up over the top of the drum and over the sides. And I got it fixed pretty much, but I cheated. What I did was I just took and turned my water, hot water and cold water, turned the valves down. They only open 3 turns, and so I turned them both down to 1.5 turns open, which means it takes longer to fill. You know, not a major deal, but that's not really a good fix. So I got in here with a mirror, and it wasn't real easy because it's pouring water out. I got in here with a mirror, and I look in behind, and what I find is not only is it cascading water this way, but where this little nozzle deal meets this metal, it's shooting water back that way. And, you know, it's not coming out of the hose, not leaking where the hose hooks on. It's not a crack in the plastic, so far anyway, that I can see. What it looks like is maybe this nozzle, I think it's held on with a couple of screws, and it's riveted together, the two halves. And so I'm not sure if it's slid down a little bit, or what's going on, or maybe moved up. Maybe that's what I should say. Maybe it's slid up a little bit or whatever. As you can see, it's bent right over here. That is something that happened because this whole section here was pushed down a little bit at one time, and somebody has pried it back up. And so I'm not sure, but something has happened here. So what I'm going to have to do is take this panel right here off. And it's not too hard. There's a screw there. There's a screw there. And then it just lifts up and it's got tabs, kind of slides off. So I'm going to do that. And then we'll see what we can see then. Okay. So I did remove that panel. And of course, there's another panel. But, let's see if I can get this where you can see it. Right there is a Phillips head screw, and then there's a rivet that holds the plastic together, or maybe it's a location rivet and it's sticking up through there. So I believe if I take that screw out right there, I can work this down and try to get it to where I can figure out what's going on, because as you can see, you still can't really access that thing. No matter what you do, you still can't really get to it except through in here. So I'll see if I can get that screw back there out and then see what we find. Okay, well, a stubby Phillips screwdriver. Come on, focus. A stubby Phillips screwdriver and one hand is about all you can get back in there. And that still leaves that little rivet sticking up. And what it is, it's one of those black plastic push rivet type arrangements, and I'm sure it's there just to hold everything in place in the factory. Now, once I got that one loose, I could move this side, but I couldn't move the other side. So back in behind this sidewall and this cover here, there was something similar. And what I did was opened this door slightly, slid a flat screwdriver up in through, but from the underneath side, under this door, and carefully pried it down and reached in there with my other hand and worked it loose on both sides. Now, once I did that, you get to this point where it's hanging down. You can move it around. Well, it still has the hose on it. Now, if you reach past this metal divider here, and you can even push your drum backwards a little bit, it's okay, it won't hurt it. You can just center it back up. But anyway, if you reach back in, there is the hose clamp. And it's one of those pinch hose clamps. So you don't want to pull this too far, because you might end up breaking it off. But you can pull it back just slightly, and you can reach up in here with a pair of pliers, or if you've got better grip than me, you might be able to actually squeeze it and get it to come off. I'm going to go find a pair of pliers. My hands aren't what they used to be. Okay, small pair of pliers. You can reach up in there with two hands, get a hold of this stupid clamp, and take it loose. Now, if I told you it was easy, you would probably come hunt me down and beat me. So, you're going to need some patience, and it would not hurt if you had somebody standing beside this thing with a mirror up in there. But anyway, now that's unhooked, so let's see if we can get this thing out of here without breaking it. A little wiggle here. Yeah, there she comes. Okay. So, focus. This is what we're working with. And what I see is it's basically deformed. Come on. The light's killing me here. Let me see if I can get rid of this fluorescent light for you. Okay, I don't know if that's much better, but anyway, you see how that's closed off right in the center. I think that is the culprit. It's forcing the water to flow weird. Remember, this was upside down, so it was like that. The water was coming out on the left, which would be this side over here towards my hand. And I think that's the problem right there, is just the fact that it's closed down a little bit. So I'm going to do some work on it, try to open that up a little bit. I'll be back. Okay, guys. Well, something I forgot to show you earlier. After I pried this side, this little rivet down, it had a tab on it. So when you pry the right side down, if you slide it to the right, the tab unlocks. Well, I couldn't see that So I had to learn that the hard way. But now I know, and you guys know. Well, what I ended up doing, as you can see, is I trimmed away about 1/4 inch and actually made that so that the gap is pretty well the same all the way across. And my theory was, this is basically like putting your finger over the end of a garden hose. When you do that, the water sprays in all different directions. And so just opening that up a little bit and cleaning it, I took a wire brush, cleaned all the calcium and junk off that was up in there. But the way I did that was just an old junky screwdriver, an old flat screwdriver that wasn't worth using. I heated it up on my gas cook stove, and I just literally plunged it straight through and made little dots across there, and then heated it up again and just kind of pushed it and connected them. And then I took a knife, just a pocket knife, and went through and cleaned up all of the plastic that was, flared out to the sides and everything. And like I said, I wire brushed it with just a cheap little stainless steel Harbor Freight parts washing brush. So I'll run back downstairs, put this all back in, turn it on, we'll see what happens. Okay, it's all back in. I did have to do a little bit of prying to get that worked back through there, and you do have to put it part way back in and then put the hose on it. And actually putting the hose on was a lot easier than taking it off. Just had to kind of work it up on there and kind of move the clamp around with the hose a little bit. But I have left, hope you can see back in there, I have left this cover off so that you can see how the water comes out. And let's see if I turn a flashlight on, if it totally screws the video up. Maybe not too much. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that looks good so far. Looky there. Pretty much straight waterfall effect. I don't see anything shooting backwards. Try the mirror. Oh, that's not going to work. Try it this way. Do not see anything going back across the back. It was shooting straight backwards right there and coming out way back there. Well, guys, I guess the true test is to open the valves all the way. Okay, valves are open all the way. See if we can get her to focus. Let's try it again. I'll have to increase the size of the load. There we go. Looks pretty much the same. Let's see if we can get in there. I don't see any water shooting backwards. I think this may work. Well, I'll let it run this load. It's actually way too full now, but I'll let it run this load and see if we get any water on the floor. Sorry for the focus in and out, guys. Dark basement, fluorescent lights. You know how LED lights work, jack with cameras. But anyway, hope that helps somebody out. Like I said, I got an awesome deal on this because this was about an $1,100 setup. I got it for $300. And technically, the guy did not lie to me. Everything worked. It just worked a little too well. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys.